Hey guys! Today we're going to be taking a look at the Trakke Bannoch Backpack, which is a really stylish and durable work and everyday bag. And I've had my eye on this one for a while. I've gotten a few requests for it on the channel, and so I was excited to finally be able to get my hands on it, and I've been testing it out for the past couple of weeks, and so far it's been a really great experience. I love the aesthetic of the bag. It has a very solid build quality. I really like the simple and effective organizational layout that it has, and it also has an impressive amount of space considering how sleek and small the bag is. So I'm excited to share it with you guys, and I want to thank the company for sending the bag for me to test out. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the outside of the bag, I really like the overall aesthetic of the Bannoch backpack. It has a really classic and professional look in my opinion. It feels like it's going to work particularly well for taking into an office or walking around the city, but it still feels like it wouldn't really be out of place in the outdoors. So it just really looks great with any outfit that I've tried it on with. And the bag is offered in a few different colors. The version that I have here is the all black, but it also comes in a navy, an olive, and a cumin, I believe, and you can check those out on Trakke's site. And then moving into the materials, the bag is made out of a very rugged waxed canvas. This type of bag, it always feels like it's gonna hold up well over the longer term and just age really, really nicely. One thing about this material is it always feels a little bit more concerning for getting caught in a heavier rainstorm. It does feel like my stuff would be pretty well protected on the inside given how thick it is, but it's still a bag that doesn't feel like it offers quite as much weather resistance as something more modern like ballistic nylon. And then on top of that, you also have some really nice cotton webbing here that's really thick, and it feels like it's gonna hold up well even when you pull on it a lot. And then you also have some really nice stainless steel buckles throughout the bag. So just a really solid build quality and something that feels like it's gonna be with you for many years to come. And then continuing along the outside, the bag has two external water bottle pockets, which I really like to see. So in this one here, I currently have the same 20-ounce water bottle that you've seen in a lot of my other daily bag videos, and that fit in there really comfortably. And so the water bottle pockets here have kind of a fixed volume. They don't really have much elasticity. And so if you place something a little bit thicker on the inside, it is gonna start to take up some room from the main area, but I like the amount of space that's been offered here. And then also the fact that they're pretty deep for when you want to place something a little bit taller on the inside. And then jumping into the capacity, the bag comes in at about 17 liters according to the company's site. And to me, it feels like it can almost hold a little bit more, especially because it has this sort of top-loading design that can expand out. So I was able to easily fit all the items that I normally like to carry with me on my day-to-day. And I really like that the bag maintains a really slim and sleek aesthetic, even when it's a little bit more packed out, making it great for navigating crowded areas or jumping onto public transit. Continuing on with the straps and the back paneling, so far the bag has been pretty comfortable to wear. However, things are kept really minimal here, so this is something that I've noticed with a lot of kind of heritage or classic style rucksack bags like this, is that there's normally not too much padding in the straps or the back panel area. So here, as you can see, the straps do have some padding, but they're fairly thin. And then on the inside, there's no sort of meshy material to help prevent moisture from building up. The straps do, however, have a nice width to help prevent the bag from digging into your shoulders when it's a little bit more packed out. And then there's no sort of sternum strap on these straps, nor the ability to add one, but for me that didn't really bother me just because this isn't that big of a bag, and I also really like the clean look that this gives the straps. And then down at the bottom, you also have a really nice stainless steel buckle, and then these D-rings here that make it very easy to adjust the bag whenever you want to lengthen or shorten the strap. And then moving into the back paneling, this has also felt pretty comfortable. There is some padding here, but like the straps, it's just very minimal, and there's no sort of meshy material or any sort of elevation or air channels to help with airflow. So I did notice that my back would tend to get pretty sweaty while I was wearing this for a longer period of time throughout the day. And then the last thing I'll mention while we're on the back paneling is that down here you can see that it has this little pass-through that's meant to pair with a separate waist belt that Trakke sells if you want to have a little bit more support when the bag is getting more heavy. And then jumping into the organizational options, the bag keeps things pretty simple. Besides the two external side water bottle pockets, there's not a whole lot of organization on the outside. You kind of have to dive into the main area, which is held together by these two buckles here. And this system is pretty interesting. It's very unique to Trakke. And I like this style of bag in general. This is a top-loading bag, and so to access this buckle, you just have to thread this metallic piece through this opening here, so it can take a little while to kind of get used to how this system works. And for the most part, it's fairly quick. It's not as quick as some of the buckles that we've seen on bags like the Boundary Supply Prima system, or even something like the Burton Tinder Pack, where you can just kind of loosen them really quickly. You really have to get good at kind of threading them through, which can be a little bit frustrating if you need to get into the bag quickly, but it also feels like it offers just a little bit more security if you're walking around. It might be harder for a pickpocket to kind of have to deal with this sort of buckle. And so there's two buckles here that you have to release to be able to get into the organizational areas of the bag. And before jumping into that again, I'd like that this bag is adjustable, so you can actually loosen this strap up so that the flap comes up more, so you can have some extra space, particularly if you want to use this for something like a weekend trip. It's nice to have that flexibility, or if the bag is a little bit emptier, you can tighten it down. So love the ability to kind of adjust that as needed. And then an important thing with this style of bag is that when you have this flap, you really want to make sure that the sides are tucked under the flap to make sure that water doesn't get in. It's pretty easy to do so with this system to help kind of prevent anything from getting into the main area. So just something to keep in mind. And then opening this up, the first organizational pockets that we're going to take a look at is these two longer compartments on the front. And again, you have to loosen these straps to be able to get into this area. So that would have been nice to maybe make these more externally accessible, because they're great quick access compartments. So they have this flap that kind of comes over them to help provide some protection against maybe some water getting in, or just to make it harder to kind of reach in and grab something. So you can lift this flap up. And then these compartments are identical. They're really tall and they have a nice amount of volume. You can see that they kind of pop up. So if you have something a little bit thicker that you want to throw in here, it should be able to fit in there pretty comfortably. So starting off with the one on the right, I just threw in my Ray-Ban sunglasses with their case, so that fit in there really comfortably, and those went down pretty far, so there was still some leftover room at the top. And then on the one on the left, I filled this one up a little bit more. So here I have my GoPro Hero 3 Plus. And then down below that, I also threw in my Blue Pop portable Bluetooth speaker and power bank. And so just a really nice, simple layout here. Again, this is gonna be nice for pairing maybe with some of the thinner pouches that a company like Bellroy sells, or Trakke even has their own organizational pouches that are a little bit longer and are gonna match up very well with this style of pocket. And then behind those two front compartments, you have an additional kind of sleeved area here that has some separation from the main area, and this has a decent amount of space, and it's also a pretty tall compartment. So currently what I have in here is an iPad mini, which fit in there very easily. This would definitely be able to hold up to a full-size 10-inch tablet. And then I also threw in a full-size Moleskine notebook. And even with those items in there, there was plenty of leftover space. So really appreciate that this isn't a super flat area. And then behind that, we can get into the main area, and this is just pretty much a large bucket of space. So a very simple layout here. The first thing I'll call it is this really nice bright orange liner that makes it easy to see everything that's on the inside. And I've really come to appreciate this style of top loading bag. In a lot of the videos that I've done for clamshell style bags, people have asked what happens when the zipper fails. You know, is the bag still usable? So with this style of bag here, if one of the buckles were to break, I could still use this as pretty much a big sack. You can still carry your stuff around and put the flap over. So it's really nice to have that extra peace of mind. And then plenty of space here. Again, this is a 17-liter bag, but I was really impressed with just how much it was able to hold. As you can see, there's some leftover space here at the top if I wanted to toss in something like a jacket or maybe a change of clothes. And so what I currently have here is my Beats Studio wireless headphones. And then down at the bottom, I just have a few pouches where particularly helpful with a layout like this, where there's not a whole lot of internal organization. So down here, I have a simple Maxpedition pouch that has some of my smaller EDC items. And then I also have my Bellroy Classic pouch that has my dongles and chargers and other small kind of tech accessories. And then the last thing that I have in here is my Levitate portable standing desk, which fits in there really comfortably. So just a really nice amount of space here. Now with the compartment empty, you can get a better look at the inside, and it comes up a decent amount, which is what makes it great for holding both your items. So one of the things that I really liked when I first saw this was that it was likely going to be able to hold a larger packing cube. If I wanted to use this for a longer weekend trip, I could definitely fit my packing cube in here and maybe a dop kit or a pair of shoes, and then I'd be good to go for a few days. So just really love the versatility that these simpler layouts give you with what you can pack. And then on the inside of the bag, you do have one small zippered compartment at the top that has this weather sealing. So if it happens to get a little bit wet, it does offer some protection. And so opening this up, this has a decent amount of space for just some smaller accessories that you don't want floating all the way to the bottom of the bag. So here I just threw in a lightning cable to charge my phone and my iPad, and then I also threw in my Apple Magic Mouse. So just really like having this simple area here to offer at least some bit of organization in this larger compartment. And then the last thing that we're going to take a look at in this main area is the laptop sleeve. And so I like that this sleeve is a little bit more padded to help add some protection for your device. And the sleeve itself is a little bit suspended off the bottom of the ground. One thing about this style of bag is that since it's not super rigid, depending on how you place it down, even though it's a little bit suspended, there is a chance that it could end up touching the ground. But I like that it's still pulled up a little bit and pulled away from the side slightly to help add some extra peace of mind if you happen to place your bag down a little bit harder. And then the sleeve is meant to hold up to a 15 or 16 inch laptop. Currently what I have in here is my 13 inch MacBook Pro, and you can see that it kind of gets swallowed up here, so I'll go ahead and pull that out now. Now with the compartment empty, you can get a better look at the inside, so no sort of fleece lining here, which would have been a nice addition, but I do like that the sleeve comes up a decent amount in case you happen to have a thicker device. So just a really nice job here. It definitely feels like my laptop is going to be pretty well protected while I'm running around throughout the day, and I really just love the simple layout in this main area and throughout the rest of the bag. It's very well designed and thought out, and if you're looking for a stylish and durable bag that's going to be very versatile and fit in particularly well in an office environment, then this is going to be a great option to check out. And so to wrap up, it's been a really great experience testing out the Bannoch backpack over the past couple of weeks. The bag has a great build quality, I really like its overall aesthetic, and it has a great organizational layout, and it also has an impressive amount of space. And so you can currently purchase this on Trakke's site starting at about 200 pounds, which at the time of filming translates to about 265 US dollars. So it's definitely a bit of an investment, but the bag does have a really solid build quality and it's handmade in Scotland. So if those things are important to you, it may be worth the additional cost. And so as I was testing this out, one of the first bags this made me think of was the Air Daypack 2. And that's one of my favorite recent work and everyday bags. It has a really stylish and much more modern exterior, a ton of weather resistance. I really like the organizational layout on that bag, and it also comes in at a pretty reasonable price. So if you're looking for something that's going to be really great for the office and just look a little bit maybe more techie than this bag here, then that's going to be a great option to take a look at. The next bag this made me think of is the Boundary Supply Prima system, which we looked at a while back, and that was a really great all-purpose everyday bag. It was a little bit larger than this, coming in at 25 liters. It had a great organizational layout, and a good thing about that bag is that it's going to be great if you happen to carry a little bit more camera gear with you on your day-to-day, as it comes with a removable camera case and a quick access side pocket. So it's just a really versatile and comfortable bag. It also has a great build quality, so if you're looking for something that's going to be just a little bit maybe more modern looking and that's going to offer a little bit better weather resistance, and that's going to be a great option to keep in mind. Another bag this made me think of is the Rucksack from Nutsack, which is a really solid everyday bag. It has a pretty similar stylish and kind of wax canvas aesthetic to this one. It's a very classic looking bag. It also has a really simple and effective organizational layout, plenty of space, and that bag is going to be a little bit more expensive than this one. Since it's made in the US, it comes in at a little bit over $300, but it's just a really solid bag. It feels like it's going to hold up very well, and if you're looking for something with this sort of an aesthetic but that's going to offer maybe a little bit more comfort, then that's going to be a good option to keep in mind as well. And then if you have a little bit of a tighter budget, the last bag that I'll mention here is the Burton Tinder Pack, which is a bag that I've had for many years now, and it's just a really solid everyday bag. It comes in at under $100. It has a solid build quality. It has a little bit of a simpler organizational layout, so it doesn't have quite as many pockets, but it just has a nice top-loading design, a pretty classic aesthetic similar to this one here. And it's going to be great for just throwing in a laptop and some clothes, and it's actually packs down really flat, so it's one of my favorite packable bags when I'm traveling with a larger backpack. So if you're just looking for something simple, similar to this, that's going to be at a little bit more of an affordable price point, and that's going to be one of the best options to check out. With that being said, the Bannoch backpack holds up really well against all those bags, and if you're looking for a stylish and durable option that's going to offer a great organizational layout and a nice amount of space, and this is going to be a great bag to check out. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you guys think of the Bannoch backpack and how it compares to some of the other similar kind of durable wax canvas bags that we've looked at on the channel. And if there are any similar options that you think I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank the company again for sending the bag for me to test out. And if you guys found this video helpful, please give us a like. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos. And thank you guys so much.